Hello, welcome to Three Crows Runes. My name is Jen. Let's do some rune readings. Today I'm going to be using the Willow set. It's a very good rune set for straightforward readings. They're very, very straightforward. Sometimes they're a little straightforward, to be honest. I'm going to lay down 3 runes. Each of those runes will represent a problem, question, or concern that you may have. And we will go from there. I will put the timestamps for each of these questions in the comments, and you can go directly to the question that you want to hear the answer to. And here we go. 3 runes. 3 questions. Eep. Okay, your first question number 1, is represented here by Raido. Raido is the riding rune. It has to do with a journey, not just a journey where you get on a train and it's a set path, but one where you're actually directing the journey. So if you have a question about a journey that you are on, whether it's an endeavor of some sort, a project, something that you're entering into and a concern about, please choose question number 1, timestamp number 1 down below. Your second question is here represented by Ansuz. Ansuz is the rune of communication. It has to do with communication, manifestation, expression. If your question is about something of that kind, please go to timestamp number 2. Your third question is represented here by Sovilo. Sovilo is the sun rune. It has to do with source energy and access to source energy. Maybe your question has to do with question about energies, question about your source energy and how do you find it. If that's your question, please go to timestamp number 3. So those are your 3 questions. I will see you at the answers. Hello, question number 1. This is the question that has to do with the journey. This is Raido, it's the Journey Rune. Let's see what that's about. So I'm going to start by throwing down 4 runes around this one rune. It's going to be what led up to this question, what is helping, what isn't helping, and what your next step is. I'm actually going to tighten this up because these are big runes. So leading up to this question, we have Gabo. Gabo is the rune of the gift. It has to do with exchange, because a gift was never a gift. You don't just give something. In ancient Norse, you would never give something without getting something back. So it's about an exchange. It has about decision, an agreement. I'm seeing a decision. I think you made a decision to go on this journey. So you reached a point where you're like, all right, I'm going on this journey. And here you are on this journey. What's helping on this journey is that you're getting a lot of revelations from this. It's like the light has been turned on. It's very exciting. Every day there's a new dawn. Dagas, it is the dawn. The rune of the dawn, the breakthrough of the day. You're getting this right away. Immediately, it's like you now have light in your life, which is exciting. It's like you've needed this. What isn't helping, weirdly, is you're worried about the light. This is Sovilo, it's the sun. You're wondering, will this last? Is this something I can trust? What about my energy levels? Do I have the energy levels to do this? Yes, because Dagas is here helping you. All the new light that's coming in from doing this journey is helping you, and it's very exciting. Now, interestingly, your next step here is Isa. Isa is the rune of ice and standstill, and probably not what you want to see having just started a journey. Ooh. Well, it looks like you hit a roadblock fairly early on. I mean, I'm really happy you started on the journey. It's a really good choice. Okay, interesting. Well, I don't want to jinx your journey, but it looks like you have stopped at this point. Isa, ice, come to a stop, stand still. What's helping at this point is you're like, okay, what's wrong? What do I need to do to move forward? This is Vunyo, it's the Rune of Joy. It is reversed, so you're looking inwardly to find out what brings you joy that will help you move forward, but also you're not being happy at this point is helping. Maybe you started this journey that you've asked about, and almost right away, bam, you've frozen. If you acknowledge that you are not happy about it, maybe that's a good reason that this has happened. What isn't helping is, I think This is Othala, it's the homeland rune. I'm not saying you wanted to leave home, but maybe your intention was to leave what you considered to be home before. You wanted to just drop everything that was holding you back and let it go. Maybe that's also because stopping and then this is, it's sort of helping you. So I'm going to throw down a couple more runes on this line just to make sure about it. Ooh. So you have something unknown. The unknown is helping you find your inner joy, but also discover why you're unhappy about this. So you wanted to leave this state of home. You wanted to let go of some things that no longer served you. And basically stopping communication. So these are things that are not helping you, is just turning away from what you feel like as home, and also especially, and what's caused this, is stopping communication. This is Ansu's, it's the rune of communication. So it's reversed on the very, very lowest line at this point. This is what's not helping you. Dropping everything, leaving everything, and not communicating, that's really dragging you down, and maybe that's what really caused this. So pay attention to where you're not happy and open up to maybe there's an answer you haven't thought of. Your next step here is represented by Fehu reversed. Fehu is the wealth rune. It has to do with wealth, worth. Reversed, it has to do with self-confidence generally, but it might also have to do with not having the money you want. So let's get some runes around that and clarify it. Spirit's helping, which is good. So after you've really done your soul searching and sort of opened up to, okay, give me the answers that I don't have, your spirit picks up. This is Avaz, it's the rune of the horse, it's the rune of spirit, it's the rune of movement. You're moving forward again, and that's really helping you. So I would be inclined at that point to read this as it's helping you with your self-confidence. It's helping with your self-esteem and your confidence and moving forward, which is good. It's bringing you past the frozen part. You're worried about, so this is Laguz, it's the rune of the lake. It has to do with heart, emotion, intuition. It's reversed on the lower line. So you're worried about where your heart is. Maybe your heart's not in this. You're worried that your heart won't be in this. Maybe you're worried about losing love as well. So that's all stuff that's going to really worry you. The losing home, the not communicating, the losing love, all that. These are mostly worries, I would say, usually. Focus on this. Focus on, okay, what do I really want? What's really bringing me joy? Open up to this. Get the answer to that, and let your spirit carry you forward. You will feel a little more confident than you did before you got halted. What this leads to is Kaunaz, and Kaunaz reversed. Now, Kaunaz is like the fire, so it's a thing that starts small as a little ember and gets really big as a big flame. In this case, it's reversed, so it has to do with honing. It's like going from a flame to a laser. So you're really going to focus your journey at this point. I'm just going to throw a couple more down for this. Aha, okay, good. That's good. Okay, nice. So what helps at that stage where you're really, really focusing is you are actually seeing the fruits of your labors at this point. This is, it's Yira, it's the harvest, it has to do with time. You're becoming more aware of that. You're becoming more aware of what you're getting out of this. Just like when you first started and the light was coming in. You did hit a snag. You had to question, okay, what really does make me happy about this? This step has allowed you to once again follow spirit, and now you're getting results, which is great. What isn't helping, once again, you're worried about, am I strong enough? Do I have enough energy? Oops. Do I have enough energy? Does this mean I will lose, the things I love? Am I strong enough for this? This is Uruz, it's the wild ox. It has to do with strength and vitality and health. It's reversed, but it's on the lower line. So you're going to worry about all of this. Maybe you will even feel tempted to feel like this is all happening. But once again, bring yourself back up here. You are on this journey. You're moving forward, and you are now seeing results at this stage where you're really honing your focus. And what this leads to is we have Tivaz's rune. Tivaz is Tyr's rune, and Tyr is the warrior god, and it has to do with, pick up and go and duty and responsibility. But in this case, I'm just going to say it's reversed here on the path line. It looks like you're laying down your sword at this point. You've completed the journey. So, bon voyage you on your life journey. This chapter of your life's journey. Quite the adventure. I hope that was clarifying and informative and helpful. And I wish you a lovely day, evening, or weekend. Take care. Hello, question number 2. You are here to hear a question about Ansu's, the rune of communication. So, question about communication, manifestation, something of that kind. Let's see what the runes have to say. I'm going to start by throwing down a few runes around this one. The first rune is going to show what led up to this. Then we have a rune that's going to show what helps. Then a rune that shows what does not help. And finally, for the first part of this, a rune that is the next step on the path. So it looks like you have had, what is that? A little fuzzy on my rune. You have had a moment where either you felt like humanity has sort of turned around, like away from you, or you have said, okay, I'm going to do like the hermit thing. I'm going to turn around. I'm going to sort of move away from the din of humanity. This is Manas. It's the rune of humanity. It's reversed. So whether this was by choice or by circumstance, you've had some time where you were not really a part of humanity. You sort of moved away from that. You secluded yourself in some way. Of course, we all have done the quarantine thing, so maybe it's that. But you are really, really, really eager to be communicating again. So that's, understandable. Here you are wanting to communicate again. What helps is, this is Yira. It's the rune of the harvest. It also has to do with time. I'm going to throw down a couple more runes as I speak, just to clarify this line, since it's the main line. Yeah, so all this time sort of on your own has given you clarity, stillness. You really have a lot to share from that. This has actually given you a lot to communicate. You've got a real harvest now that you want to share. That's really exciting. So you've got that. That's actually driving you to get out there and share, whether out there is out there or out there is via internet and all that. What doesn't help is sort of giving up. This is Tears rune. It's Tivaz. It's reversed. It's on the lower line. You're sort of thinking, well, no, I'll just give up and not worry about it. I don't have the energy anyway. This is Sovilo. It's the sun rune. Again, on the line below the lower line. And it's sort of like, I don't know if I have the energy to do this anymore. I could just let it be. But this is driving you. This is very exciting. You've got all this insight from the time that you've been still. You want to share this. So if you start to feel like that, go, no, you know what? This has to be told. It's very exciting. So this leads into your next step on the path line, which is Uruz. Uruz is the rune of the aurochs, which is the wild ox. It has to do with health and strength. So you're going to feel very, very strong stepping into this, however you step into it. Interesting. So what's going to help is we have Othala, but reversed on the upper line. Othala is the homeland rune. It has to do with home, inheritance, all that good stuff. It is reversed on the upper line. So this says to me that you're actually letting go of a lot of things that you no longer need. Things that no longer serve you, you're sort of letting go. You're also developing a real feeling of home inside, so that you can feel at home wherever you are, which is cool. And that's actually what's going to help you a lot, especially with getting out what you need to get out. Then you won't feel, but I can only do this from my home. Well, you can bring your home with you, which is sort of where you're at. What doesn't help is we have Fehu. Fehu is the rune of wealth and worth. It's on the lower line. You're sort of worried about that kind of thing. I'm going to go more with the worth than the wealth at this point. Maybe what I'm sharing isn't, nobody cares. Maybe nobody cares about what I'm going to be sharing. If that starts to drag you down, just like, maybe even other people have said what you're about to say, but you never said it before, and nobody has heard it from you before, and you're the only one who can say it the way that you're going to say it. So bring yourself back up here. You have this. You have had this insight. Let go of what no longer serves you, this being one of the things that no longer serves you, this worry about whether you're worthy of it. You are. Look how strong you are. You're an ox. So, so this is really, really good. Let's see a couple more runes on this line. Ooh, it is going to be a bit of a challenge, but it's exciting. Ooh, blank. So your next step on the path line is Thurizaz. Thurizaz is the gateway, it's the thorn, it's the giant, it's a challenge. But it is upright, so the door is open. It's just like, on the other side of this door is something I've never seen before, which you can see here by the blank rune. This is new ground. But it's exciting, and you're going to get there. What helps is, yes, it is new. Open up to the chaos. This is Hagalaz. It's the hailstorm rune. Has to do with natural energies, chaos. Embrace this. Embrace the fact that, no, I mean, if I want to do something new, I have to do something new. If I want a new world, I have to be doing things I've never done before. And just embrace that. Embrace the chaos of the new. What doesn't help is, if you're sort of like me, you want to make sure everything's under control. You're going to be trying to make everything just really, really, really under control. This is Nauthiz. It's the rune of need. It's reversed. So this is like tending your needs, but to the extreme, like really, really, really extra, like checking that the oven is off like 10 times after you've already checked it level of extreme, making sure. You know, after you've checked it 5 times, maybe take a picture of it and remind yourself, yes, it is off. So embrace the chaos. This is going to be new ground. You are ready for it, and the door is open. So step forward into the new ground. I'm actually going to throw down a couple runes just so we can explore the new ground a little bit, because it's very exciting for you. Be patient with yourself. This is Ivaz. It's the yew tree rune. It has to do with patience and slow growth. What won't help you is worrying about support. Oh, beautiful. Worrying about whether you are protected and supported. This is Algiz. It's the rune of, well, it's the elk. We call it a moose in North America, but it's basically the elk. And it has to do with protection and support. It is reversed on the lower line. You are going to be worried about, what about support? Do I have enough support to do this? Yes, you do. Be patient with yourself. You're moving forward, you're in new ground, and you will have an absolute breakthrough here. It's going to be like bigger revelation for you. Here is Dagaz, the rune of the breaking of the day, the dawn. And it's right there, it's on your path line. You start out with, okay, so seclusion, you want to communicate, feeling much stronger now. There's my doorway through into the new world. There's the new world, and wow, revelation, very exciting. You are on a very exciting path. I am looking forward to it for you. So I hope this was clarifying and comforting. I wish you a lovely day or evening, and take care till next time. Bye. Hello, question number 3. We have Sovilo, the rune of the sun. You are here with your question about energy, source energy. How is it? Where is it? How do I get it? Let's see what the runes have to say. I'm going to lay down a few runes around this. We're going to see what led up to this question, what is helping, what isn't helping, and what your next step is going to be. Okay. So leading up to this, we have Manaz, the rune of humanity. So it looks like you've had a lot of dealings with humans, the other humans, the crowd, the din. It could just be like sort of questions about finding your place in humanity. But here you are among humans. For me, that's very draining. I'm an introvert. But maybe that's the case. Maybe you want to be among humans, which is great, but it's kind of draining, and maybe you're having questions about energy. Or maybe you miss humans if you're an extrovert, and you need the energy you get from being around other humans. Either way, you've had a situation with humanity recently that led you to your question about energy. So what helps you is, here's Uruz. Uruz is the wild ox. It has to do with strength and health. It is reversed, but it's on the helping line. And what I think the runes are saying at this point is, look to your inner strength. You are inherently strong, whatever you're doing. You don't have to be showing yourself lifting weights to prove that you are inherently strong. You are inherently strong, even if you're not doing anything. So look to that and remember how strong you actually are. I'm going to throw down a couple more runes to clarify this line, because this is your central line, or your main line, with your main question on it. What helps that is, I communicate with people. Just talk to people. Just keep the communications open. This is Ansu's. It's the rune of communication and manifestation. I'm also going to read it since it's on the very upper line. Maybe this is your inner communication, your inner voice. Develop that relationship with your inner voice. Listen to what you are saying. Either way, this actually feeds in. Can I fit another one? I think we're a bit tight for that. I'm going to do it, but it might be a bit cut off. Ooh, blank. Blank. Okay. Put that there. That's actually lower. That's actually upper. This is sort of like opening up to the divine, whatever your divine means. This feeds into this voice, your inner voice, your inner communication. And this is actually what feeds your inner strength. You always have this. You always have this communication here, even if you're not communicating with everybody in the world here. This is always a communication you have, and you can always keep yourself in a sense of communication with that. And this leads to your inner strength. What doesn't help is you're going to just really, the standstill is grating on you, the chaos is grating on you, and you're worried, you're a bit heartbroken. It's all grating on you. It's all dragging you down. Sorry, Isa is the ice rune, Hagalaz is the hailstorm rune, which is the chaos, and Laguz is the lake rune, which is heart, emotion, intuition. It's so emotional, it's so chaotic, and everything feels like it's not moving. And this is dragging you down. If you feel that's the case, and it's actually dragging on your energy, bring yourself back up here. Remember how inherently strong you are. Remember your connection with your inner voice and the divine, whatever you consider the divine is, whether it's a deity or nature or your higher self. And this will actually carry you forward. What your next step is, you're going to be feeling a lot more worthy. You're going to be feeling a lot more feelings of worth, maybe even wealth, but I'm thinking this is more along the lines of worth. This is Fehu. It's the rune of wealth and worth. It has to do with cattle, the wealth you tend. So as long as you're taking care of this aspect of it, you're going to feel a lot more wealthy in terms of your own worth, your own sense of worth. So throwing down a few more runes on this. Okay. So what helps at this point, where you're feeling a little bit more sense of worth? You're going to be looking in for your inner joy. You're going to be really looking inward, just like you looked inward for your strength here and your inner communication. You're going to be looking inward for what brings me the most joy deeply. You're also going to look to where you're not happy and look to that. I'm actually going to throw down a couple more runes on this a little bit, just to... Ooh, okay, that's interesting. I'm almost sorry that I did that because this makes it a little more complicated, but not in a bad way. So looking to your inner joy is what helps with the worth. It's also the fact that you are willing to make what makes you happy. This is Ingvaz, it's Frey's rune, he's the fertility god, and it's active creation. So you are actively creating what brings you your inner joy. And you have an active ability to actively fix what makes you unhappy. So this is something that you have the ability to fix anything that you are really, that is sort of driving your unhappiness, but also to access and act on your inner joy. And that's what helps you with your feelings of worth here. What doesn't help is we have Kaunaz, we have Nauthi's reversed. So Kaunaz is a rune of expansion. It has to do with fire, something that starts small and gets big. This is sort of telling me that you're worried about all of these things we were talking about before, continuing, expanding, getting out of hand. And underneath that is you're going to worry that your needs are going to get out of hand. Nauthi's is the need rune. It is reversed and it's on the lowest line. So it's like all of this is going to get out of hand. My needs are going to get out of hand. This is going to be terrible. It's going to be a disaster. I'm going to be very upset and miserable. Well, if that starts to feel like it's going to be the case, bring yourself back up here. I am inherently strong. I have an inherently good connection with my inner voice and the divine, whatever my divine is. I am able to recognize what makes me deeply joyful and also to recognize what isn't making me happy and I can do something about it. What this leads us to is we have Raido reversed. This is the Journey Rune. It's riding, it's a directed journey, and it is reversed. It looks like you have chosen, there was a path that you were on at this point and you've chosen to sort of say, okay, we're done. And I'm also taking my journey inward at this point, which is another thing that the Rider reverse can mean. But generally, it's the end of a journey that you were on. Throwing down just a few more. With the ending of this journey that you've decided, well, maybe it has ended, but it's sort of partly a decision because it's a directed journey. What's going to help you at this point is just patience. We have Ivaz. It's the yew tree rune. It has to do with patience and slow growth. It is carrying you forward over this step where the journey either has been ended or you have ended it. And what doesn't help is maybe you had further plans. Maybe you had plans further beyond this, but you have decided to end what you were doing, or maybe it has been ended for you. This is Gabo. It's the rune of decisions, agreements, exchanges. Sort of, maybe you had plans, and you're worried about all of this, and this is sort of dragging you down. I really want to see a little bit further on this. Ooh. You guys, seriously. I mean, guys, people. Much better. Okay. That's where I want it to go. Well, it's not where I want it to go, but that's the sort of ending that I would rather end on than a cliffhanger. So your next step after the journey that you were on has sort of ended, or you have decided to end this journey, is there was a bit of, this is Pertho, it's the rune of the lot box. It has to do with surprises, but surprises that you already, that were already there and are now being revealed. And it's sort of like, well, maybe a bit of bad news on this step, right after things have ended. Maybe things ended because you anticipated this, but this seems like it's going to be a surprise. It could also be a revelation about yourself internally. What is going to help is you do see this as the challenge that it is. This is Thurizaz, it's the rune of challenges, it's the thorn, the gateway, it is open. So you embrace this challenge. You've been patient while this has been going on, because maybe this was a holdup. You pulled up your horse and you're like, okay, let's see where this goes. You were patient, and then kind of unpleasant surprise, but this is a challenge you're willing to face, and you move forward. What doesn't help is you're concerned about support, protection and support. This is Algies, it's the elk, otherwise known as the moose if you're in North America. It has to do with protection and support. It's on the lower line, so you're worried about that. Don't be, you've already embraced the challenge. You're happy to move forward on this. And what this is leading to is Tears rune, Tivaz. It is saying that it has to do with, marching forward, but also duty and responsibility. You are up for this challenge, and you are ready to pick up and go forward. So that is another amazing adventure. I wish you all the best with that, and I hope this was clarifying and comforting. I wish you a lovely day or evening, and take care till next time. Bye.